Welcome. This is Tova, and we are still in the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 21. And he changeth the times and the season. He removeth kings, setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that no understanding. So, to me, that sounds like he's giving knowledge and wisdom to those that are regulated. That's what it sounds like to me. But hey, you might interpret it a different way from me. But that's my understanding of it. Okay. Changing of the season. To me, that's the changing of the season is like I say the changing of your programming to date it, to change it over to something different, where your flow, when it does change, because everything has a season, because you have an on season and then you have an off season, off peak season. So you have to know how to maneuver through all of this. So if you are in an aligned state, your system will flow through this. It'll cue you on how to achieve said success within that season. You might have a season of rest or you have a season of abundance. And now, if you're in that season of rest, it's time for you to rejuvenate. Calm yourself. Think about. It's giving you opportunity to think about things before you do them, before they happen to you, or so on and so forth. Calm it down. Align yourself with it. Just like I said, take planting vegetables for an example. All right. You don't plant squash in the dead of winter, do you? No. You don't plant broccoli in the heat of the summer. No. Why? Because they will bolt, wither, and die. Everything has its time. It has to be aligned within the season. So you have your season for abundance. You have your seasons where you have to cultivate those seeds that you have planted. And so when you cultivating those seeds that you have planted. Then you have to nourish them, give them time to grow, and then you get the harvest. So align your nervous system, regulate, embody, and then you reap the harvest. Then you get the abundance, because all will be added unto you. So what I'm getting. Okay. So it says here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That function two, the father function, establishes order within this transition. Just say that, because you don't plant broccoli in the heat of summer, so it's got to be in a transition state. It has to be a cool weather for broccoli. not hot, because it's gonna bulbs and it ain't gonna grow. And your cabbage, you point your put them seeds out at the end of the summer, going into the spring, and going into the fall, into the winter. And the greens at the end of fall, into the winter. Your system, same thing. Same thing, Jane, same thing. Y'all have your season. You have the season where you embody your truth. You regulate it. And then you reap your benefits in the aligned states. Okay. When a system moves from one season to another, authority shifts to restore balance. Just say it. Same thing, Jane. Same thing, Jane. Okay, new leadership appears when movement requires it. It's just like what we got going on now. A new system is coming in, new monetary system is going, the old is going out, new coming in. Let's not even get on the leadership. Leadership is messed up right by now. Leadership is all over the place. It ain't doing what it's supposed to do. It ain't my phone agree. It ain't doing what it's supposed to do. That's because old system is leaving. Bye bye. New system is coming in. That's what this all about. New system, old system. Same thing. Okay. Authority is replaced where it is needed to guide to the next stage of the journey. I dropped the mic. I dropped the mic on that one. See? Same thing. Same thing, Jane. Same thing. Through these shifts, the system continued to evolve. Okay. Receiving wisdom. Lord, my girl. All right, we're just gonna keep on going with this. Function 3. Receiving the wisdom. Okay. Verse says that wisdom is given to the wise and knowledge to those who understand. So, if you are aligned and you are regulated, your understanding is on point. Because you will be living and embodying your truth, and understanding and wisdom will be added unto you. All right. This is the signal being transmitted. Hold up. Function 3 is where the signal becomes understanding. So once your vessel has embodied the truth, or you walking through your season, you understand, okay, this season, I see I got a few pitfalls. So this is not my abundant season. This is something different. So your vessel must align to the something different. Your vessel must align to the something different. So, okay, just let's put it on this line. All right. This season, I say, just say this season of yours started last month to where everything was just falling apart after falling apart. Okay. You went to go to the bank let's see, you went online to see have your money deposited in the bank. And it did. And you went to go pay bills. You paid one bill. Okay, and it went through. Then when you went to go pay another bill, it come on, decline. I'm like, what the? I know I have money now. How is it declining? And then you call the bank because they done froze there. Because at this point, you get a flash across there, contact your bank. So you call the bank. Hey, what's going on here? Tell me what's going on. Why my money froze? And then you find out that they froze your account because somebody was using a card that you used to have trying to do some fraudulent shit online. Excuse the French, I'm sorry. Some fraudulent things online. So, you talking to them, well, no, I didn't authorize that. Well, we gonna have to close your account. What? You gonna have to close my account? Yeah, we gonna have to close your account. Well, can't you just give me another account and not, and just transfer my money to that account? Well, we can't do that because it's hooked to your Social Security number. Hooked to my All right. So they tell you they're gonna close your account, and now you have to maneuver yourself through that. So now your bills ain't paid. Now the bank is done close your account. Now, excuse me. Now you have to wait on because they said they're gonna send you a paper check. Now you have to wait on that paper check. And 10 days. They say you receive it in 10. Can't you overnight it? No, we can't overnight it. Well, it's going to the same address. Why you can't overnight it? Because we don't know if we're talking to the right person. And you say, what? Okay. So, and then you say, well, all right. 10 days have passed. Still, no check. So you got to maneuver yourself through this. All being in a calm state now. Understand this. You got to be in a calm state. So, you understand that I haven't received my money yet. Could you tell me what's up? Oh, well, it has not been processed yet. It hasn't been processed. Well, I'm going to make sure I do it right now. So, they proceed to tell you, once again, you're going to have to wait another 10 days to receive that paper check that they hadn't even sent out yet. So you like, oh. So now your system is done kicked in. So now it's telling you need to call the light company. You need to call the insurance company. You need to call the internet. You need to call the water people, the gas people. You need to get a deferment on all these bills. Why? Because this is the account where all your money was going. So now you have to learn how to maneuver your way through this life lesson. So you got to do it. You got to do it in an aligned state. That means you don't go flying off the handle at nobody. You keep it calm and you keep it courteous. And then you're like, oh, well, okay, all right. So you go ahead on and you call all of these companies that you need to call. And then while you call the company back because you still haven't received that check. And it's been 10 days. Okay. So at this point, what'd you do? Still with a calm demeanor, you call them back and say, hey, I still have not received my money. Could you tell me what's going on, please? Well, we just sent it out. We just sent it out. So you will be receiving it in about another week. Another Oh, and by the way, we sent 2 checks and the other one is not due to get processed until 2 days from now. Sir, you got to do all this within in alignment now. And this is how your nervous system getting you geared up for all of this foolery about to go on. Okay, so good thing you called the light company, you called the gas company, you called the water people, you done called the people at the internet. Everybody gave you until the end of the month to get this done. And it's the 21st already. So I'm like, oh man, you got to the 27th to get it done. So now you got 6 days to get all this stuff here paid before they go whack, 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 whack. Hey! So happened. You sent out a prayer and you said, Most High, I can't do this. I'm going to have to put this in your hands and you do with it as you see fit. And then the next day, you get that check after they told you that it was going to take another 6 days, but you got it the next day. So now, oh, I forgot, you had to find a new bank too. So, did you go open that new bank account? Because you had to open up a new bank account to put that, and then on top of that, the bank say, well, since this is a new account, we're going to have to hold it. We're going to put a hold on it for 3 days. And it's already the 22nd now. 3 days. That puts you to the 25th. For all of them bills has to be paid. So, you said, but $200 of it will be available tomorrow. So now you say, well, what bill do I have that's under $200 that I can pay right now? So you pick and choose out of them bills. You know you got 2 that is under $200, but both of them together come to about $195. So you can pay those 2. So you go ahead and pay those 2. And when you paid those 2, now the vehicle, it needs a part. But the money's on hold for another 3 days. So now you're without a vehicle to get around in. This is your season to learn how to maneuver within this season that is not so abundant. So you're learning. You learning these lessons without getting uptight about it, without getting frustrated about it, without losing your cool. You learning. So now it's at the end of the month. The other bills is rolling in on top of them bills that you already had that you didn't get to pay. So now you have to pay, instead of paying one light bill, you got to pay two light bills. And instead of paying two water bills, you got to pay one water bill, you got to pay two. Instead of one internet, you got to pay two. Instead of one gas bill, you got to pay two. So on and so one mortgage. Now you got to pay two. Now you got to pay two. It's teaching you how to do this in an aligned state, to keep your composure, to keep you cool without toppling over, without going into distortion, without going dysregulated. Because this foolery, it can cause you to slip back, to get unaligned with what you're trying to do. So once you move it back into aligned state, now you struggling. You're struggling because this is your season for you to learn how to maneuver yourself, but do it in an aligned way. It's going to take you some months to come up out of this one because you had to double up, and you didn't quite have the money to double up. So now you have to pick and choose what is more important at this time. You know you got to have a roof. You know you have to have lights. You know you have to have water. You got to have gas. You got to have transportation to get to and fro. Got to have that insurance on that said vehicle. Down, you got down to your cell phone and your internet. Which of those two is going to fall by the wayside? Because all the rest of them you really need. You need all of these 7. You need those 7. These 2, you might can just do, just let that subside for a minute. Because you know that cell phone there, if you don't pay that bill, they're going to. That internet, if you didn't get a deferment, or if you got a deferment and you didn't pay that deferment, any of these, but the insurance you're going to have to keep that insurance on that vehicle. Why? Because the minute that you do not pay that insurance, it's going to the DMV. And the DMV gonna put flags on your licenses. And then that's more money. It's nothing but trickery. Listen to what I'm saying. This is trickery. All of this is coincide with one another. Because if you don't pay the light bill, and then what? You got a deposit plus the bill. Same thing with the water. The bill plus another deposit. gas bill plus another deposit. All of it the same way, except for them last two. They just until you pay them, and then they'll restore. You don't have to pay a deposit again. But that insurance and that car note, if you got one, they'll just, you might can get away with that one if that's just that 1 month. But then you 2 months because what they did with the checks. You having to double up on just about everything. And them funds is not covering that double up. So how you gonna do that? Huh? Figure it out. Put it in the hands of the Most High Mother and Father and let them guide you on which way to go. Your nervous system will do it for you. That you worry about, you don't worry about nothing because it's all a ploy. It's all designed to keep you in lack in the first place. That's what it is. Keep you shelling out that money that is worth nothing but your energy. You the one who creates it. You the one who gets rid of it. And they the one who takes it. And it's just that simple in a nutshell. All right. That's enough ranting and raving. All right. Once you get in your season, you work your way out of it. Just how I attempted to explain. Okay. Through understanding, your system moves forward with greater clarity. So it's teaching you how to maneuver yourself through these things that you have come up in your life. That's what it's about. Teaching you how to maneuver yourself in an aligned state. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay, you don't have to do anything with this. Just listen to your body, listen to your breath, feel your warmth, and we'll continue one regulated state at a time. Thank you for being here. Be gentle with yourself, and I'll meet you again. Keha.